Most people are stuck in games they didn't choose, chasing validation, money, or status. Miles knows this because he lived it, trying to win approval, prove success, and hit arbitrary goals. But it all changed when he realized life is just a game of games, and the only game that matters is the one that you choose to play.
Into the rhythm of my intuition, anything I want, I speak into existence. That's how I'm living.
All right, here we go. Finding Rhythm, episode 18. Comment, like, subscribe. Costs you nothing. Means everything to us. Life is filled with games. Let's do it.
Miles, when you say life is a game filled with games, what do you mean by that?
Life is a game filled with games. Isn't the game of life? That's what we're all playing here. And I think of when you start to think about it through that lens, you can identify all the different games that do exist within the big game. We're all playing them, whether you're conscious of it or not. Social games, status games, money games, career games, lots of games within the game. So that's how I think about it.
Do you think most people are aware of the games they're in right now?
I don't know. I would say my gut says no, but that could just me being ignorant. And so my gut says no, but then on the other side, of course, they have to, right? I don't know. Are you aware that you're playing games within a game?
Sometimes.
Yeah, so let's call it 50-50.
All right. And, we've mentioned the validation game in the intro. What is the validation game? And can you walk us through getting caught in it?
Yeah, I think seeking validation is what fuels a lot of the games. I've been caught in it. Most of my life I was caught in it. I wasn't aware that I was caught in it, but it was definitely a driving force for me. Starting young, I would say would be seeking validation from specifically like my dad, right? Just being like, oh, if I do this, you'll be proud of me, right? If I achieve this thing, I'm doing it correctly, or I don't know, like that's you'll be proud of me. And it drives a lot of behavior of seeking out achievement and really focusing on that. Like in high school, playing on 5 or 6 sport teams every single year and getting athlete of the year in grade 10 and athlete of the year in grade 11 and putting up all these athletic points and, then being like, am I doing it? Then that evolves. So then you get into social games, and instead of looking for the approval from like just your parents or from like a coach or something like that, you start to look from friends or your peers. And then a lot of behavior starts to drive that, where for me it was identifying as being a business owner or being an entrepreneur, and we're doing this and success is happening, and we're going to NHL awards or NHL games and working with NHL teams and selling all these to these big retailers and traveling across North America. Look at me, I'm so successful. Tell me how good I am, No, it sounds like if you had met me, that I wouldn't be like out like that. Like I didn't present myself like that, but in my own head, it was like these were driving forces of me. And then that leads to money games where I need to have a certain amount of financial success and could go out and do this. And this kind of coincides with, selling a piece of summer skates and then having like a good chunk of money at 26, 27 years old and, being able to flex that and take people out and about. Yeah. So these are all these kind of games within the big game of it. While I was doing all that, though, I wasn't aware I was playing those games. I was just in it. But it's all on the base of seeking validation from external sources, having external forces make you feel good.
How do these different games, money, status, and social, trap people?
Yeah, you get caught in the game of it, but they're all empty because you will just keep moving the goalposts, and you will, like, there's no not the money game. There's no amount of money that's like, okay, I have completed the game. You know, you have billionaires that are like, we want more billions, right? 1 billion isn't enough. I need 10. 10 billion isn't enough. Or even that in millions, or, you know, my status, you know, look at my house, right? Look at the size of my house, but look at this house, right? Like it's the comparison. What is it? Comparison is the thief of joy. So true. You know, you get work and you get this new car, and now I'm in this new car. Well, the new car runs out of that feeling after a couple of months, and then it's like, what can I search around for that's going to fulfill me up? But it's all empty. Like, you're never going to find it through those pieces. And same with social or status, where it's like, you know, I'm the vice president. I'm the president of this company. I'm the CEO. I work for this company. I hang out with these people. This is where I'm vacationing. You're playing this hamster wheel type thing with no end in sight, and you'll keep moving it, and until you realize that happiness isn't at the end of that game. You'll be stuck in it. And, you know, you can have fun and enjoy in playing those games. And I'm not saying that you shouldn't, but don't get caught up in them because they're empty.
What changed for you? When and why did you start playing a different game?
Yeah, definitely the pandemic, when I was just locked in a basement apartment with just Elisa, and it was just us. And it was like pretty much everything that I had wrapped my identity up into, like, hey, you're the Lace Belt guy, or you're the Dragon's Den guy, or you're the Summer Skates guy, or whatever it is, I'd all stripped away because there was no more external like interaction. But I hadn't changed. At all. So it was that like stripped through. And at that same time, I didn't have any of those things going on. I didn't have shit going on because, you know, I had all these things lined up, and the whole plan went to shit. So through that, it was like this deep self-reflection journey of like, what am I doing? Who do I want to become? And who do I want to do it with? And why? That was like the questions that I then went and ran 5 kilometers every single day, 5 days a week for, 20 weeks. To start to answer those questions for myself, which then it's a self-reflection journey, and then you're realizing it's an internal game that you are playing. Once you see that, you can't unsee it. That it's not an external game that you should be playing or that you want to be playing. It's an internal game, because life truly is a single player game, right? No one is living my life. They're not waking up, seeing the world through my eyes, right? Feeling the feelings that I'm feeling, having the thoughts that I'm having, doing the actions that I am doing, right? It's a truly single player game that you get to play with others. But the game is internal through what you are experiencing, not what you think of me.
What is Naval's game of ideas or idea of games, and how did this influence you?
Yeah, this is Naval, who is like, call him entrepreneur, investor, philosopher type guy. He was on Joe Rogan's podcast. I think it was like 2019. And these are like his seeds. These is what seeded the idea for me too. Even at that time though, 2019, I wasn't really thinking about it. But as I went back, I've probably listened to this episode 10 times, honestly. he talks about these kind of games that we are playing in society, status games, money games, but it's all to at the base level of this seeking validation from others. So it was like learning from that, what we consume, right? And then doing this kind of self-reflection on my own life and why it is that I was doing what I was doing and why did I act the way that I acted. The combination of those is what then sparked the idea to then think on and really figure out for myself. So he's a very, very wise person.
What does it mean to play long-term games with long-term people?
Yeah, this is another thing that Naval says that I always go back to now, where as you're thinking about your life, it's a long-term game and you want to play with others for long periods of time. So you want to have long friendships, right? So you want to curate your friendships to benefit with that. You want to do business with people over long periods of times. Maybe it's not this venture right now, but maybe the next one in 15 years, someone that I've interacted with or has been in my ecosystem now, they are the right fit for that in 15 years. And when you have that lens, you treat people in a certain way, right? You're not going to be burning bridges or talking shit or like stabbing people in the back or whatever that may be if you want to play long-term games with long-term people. And the big unlock of doing it long-term is you get compound effects. And that is where the real magic is, because as you know, compounding goes like this and then it goes straight up. And when you can have these long-term relationships, that's when the compounding happens. And compounding has the biggest effect over long periods of time.
If someone's listening and they realize they've been chasing the wrong game, where do they start?
First, it's going to be an awareness of what game am I playing? Why am I playing it? Right? That's step number one of self-awareness. I think a lot of these things is self-awareness is the key to it. But why are you chasing money? Right? Like, why are you doing that? Why are you chasing status? Right? Whether that's within a career or followers or notoriety, why are you chasing those things? Once you have awareness of what games you have been playing or why you're playing them, then you could start to design your life, because this is the key part of it. Life is one big game. Design your game. Design your game for maximum enjoyment, fulfillment, right? Pursuit of excellence in it or mastery, where you can play long term and you can play with others for long periods of time. You get to design the game board of life, your life. It's okay to want financial freedom or success to do that, but you want to be aware of why you're doing that. I want to do this for X, Y, and Z, right? Or if I want notoriety or call it fame, why do you want that? So you want to have a why for the reason behind your decision making, really. That's how you can make better, clearer decisions. That's how when the water gets muddy, you still know where to go and why you're going that way. And as well, it could put you in a position to be able to play long-term games with long-term people.
What's one thing you'd say to your younger self stuck in the validation game?
No one gives a shit. That's what I would say. But no one gives a shit because they're too busy worrying about themselves, right? Like, you think that people are caring about you and what you got going on and what you're doing. They're worried about how their life is unfolding in front of them and the problems that they're trying to solve too. You're not that important. That would be key number one. And then key number two is the quicker that you can realize that the true game is an internal one, right? And the pursuit of happiness is going to be found within, not through the external world. the quicker you can get to baseline happiness.
Thank you. Drop a comment. What game are you playing right now, and is it the one you chose?